NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh, nope, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? John O. B. the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. You made it. Happy Tuesday, 12/17/2019. That's December 17th, 2019. My name is Nathan Ivy, and you can consider these next few flows, I would say this period in the show, the last, I'd say 2 to 3 months, dispatches from a doomed society. Good morning to you. Broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. My name is Nathan Ivy. Nathaniel. It's my middle name, as a matter of fact. And thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And I'm back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest, as usual, from the Queen City. Now, if you're the kind of person who might like to call into the show and share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. But check this, you don't have to. You could take a free ride on my thoughts for the next 2 hours and just be edutained. As you may or may not be able to hear, I am a bit under the weather. I spent the whole day yesterday essentially in bed, the whole day. And after this show, I'm going to do the same damn thing. But until then, I want to keep it real with you. I want to pull the prophylactic off the microphone and give it to you straight raw this morning. I'm an unapologetic black man who lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's it. And God blessed me with superlative flows. Good morning to you. This is the Nathan Ivy Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are allowed to be men, damn it. I expect you to be a man this morning. And lames get their planes shot down like John McCain. I'll say it again. If you want to test the limits of a dangerous force, 513-873-7134. If you want to add a few molecules to the collision of ideas, please feel free to do so. We are powered by Sin Digital Media. Find us on Facebook. A new urban voice in the city of Cincinnati, creating podcasts for the people. Good morning. I want to be blunt this morning. I don't have a lot of time. I ain't feeling well. And so I want to keep it absolutely real. I'll say it again. I did not start this endeavor to not keep it absolutely real with you. 100%. Good morning. Morning, good morning. You got it. I want to form Voltron this morning. Let's do it. Form feet and head and legs. Trump supporters say that if Donald Trump is impeached, that they might get violent. They might get violent. There's several videos circulating right now within the last 24 hours in which people caught up with these Trump supporters at, I think, at his latest rally. And they said, look, one dude said, I got a .357 Magnum. Yeah. Do you agree? Do you think there'll be some kind of civil war if Donald Trump is impeached? Because I don't believe it. I wouldn't call it a civil war. Will you have some crazy folks that take a shot at you here or there? Yeah, that'll happen. Will there be some violence? I think there'll be some violence. I do. I really believe it. Because unlike black people, Trump supporters really mean that shit. They're really to do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? They're willing to do whatever it takes. Some of these crazy motherfuckers, I'm going to play this audio for you. This motherfucker mean this shit. They ain't joking with you. They mean it. You try to take out Donald Trump, they're going to take you out. They mean it. No games.
He's not going to be removed. He's not going to be removed.
You feel confident in that?
My 357 Magnum is comfortable with that. End of story.
And they remove him in the Senate? Mm-hmm. I think it'll cause physical violence in this country that we haven't seen since the first Civil War. I think it'll become the second Civil War.
I would think that there would be a strong movement, would be very negative, possible violence, not that I'm condoning violence. There'll be a lot of mad Americans, possibly 70, 80 million Americans on the loose, not very happy.
He said 70 to 80 Americans on the loose, not very happy. How does that make you feel this morning? Do you have your CCW? Are you ready? Because you better get ready. You should get ready. Because these mofos mean exactly what they say. They're not joking. They're not joking. And the second voice you heard was from a black man, light-skinned dude. He's like, that might be bad, yo, if Trump's impeached. This might sway some of the senators. Although within the last 24 hours, I've read that the White House is a little nervous because there are some Republican senators that they're sending, like, the wrong message to him. Like, they're not 100% on Trump's side. They don't like it. Yeah. But what do you think? If Trump is impeached, do you think that there'll be a civil war? That's my question for you, at least for the first hour of the show on some levels. 513-873-7134. And do you give a ham sandwich? Because it's not at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. we can curse because all of the Cincinnati public school kids should be at school. And if they're not, then they're probably juvenile delinquents and they're cussing and smoking anyway. So what difference does it make? What do you think? You can find that video. Shout out to Jesse. You can find that video inside the Friends page right now and check it out for yourself. It says there'll be a civil war and 70 to 80 million Americans will be mad. Ooh, they're going to be mad. Well, you know what? I'm mad. I'm already mad. So what? So what? Now you're mad because Trump gets impeached. Although I don't think that's going to happen. It's quite interesting. I'm telling you, folks, we are living in the last days in common sense when anybody would say something like that over Donald Trump, who clearly don't care about the rules, who clearly will use the presidency against his political opponents. I'll say it again. If this was Obama, these Republicans would be saying the exact opposite. Oh, this is the worst thing ever. We have to impeach him. Our democracy is at stake. Oh, poor democracy. They'll be talking about the democracy like it's a fucking puppy. Oh, poor democracy. If this was Obama that had went to talk to the Ukrainian president and said, basically, I want you to do something in the media that you've opened an investigation against Joe Biden. what appears to be his chief political rival. These Republicans these same Republicans, Ken Blackwell, they would be saying the opposite thing they're saying now. See, right now they're saying, oh, this is no big deal. He wasn't a rival. Oh, they got the aid anyway. They're making it every excuse. If it was Obama, oh, listen, they would have opened a portal to God himself to have him come down and judge Obama. The moral outrage would have been as thick as, fill in the blank, Choppers. You fill in the blank for me. It would have been thick. But because it's a Republican, because it's their guy, they want to make excuses about it. Oh, poor puppy, poor democracy. Oh. Oh, poor democracy. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Can you believe it? People are willing to go to war. He said, my 357 Magnum tells me that. Oh, you got your little 357 Magnum? You feel, oh, you a tough guy with your 357 Magnum. My 357 Magnum tells me that there's not going to be an impeachment of Donald Trump. They're not going to impeach him. I mean, these people are really serious about this, man. Told you. When Donald Trump says he could kill somebody, he can with this crowd. Depends on who it is.
He's not going to be removed. He's not going to be removed.
You feel confident in that?
My 357 Magnum is comfortable with that.
His 357 Magnum is comfortable with that. So what you going to do about that? What does that tell you? Check out this brother.
I think it'll become the second Civil War.
He's got on a cowboy hat that says Trump, that reads Trump 2020 on the front of it. Talking about he thinks it'll be a second Civil War. A second Civil War? Really? Huh. I don't think so. I'm not so sure about that. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Of course, you can always drop it inside the Chop Shop this morning. Also, I didn't get to it yesterday, but today I want to talk about Umar Johnson's conversation with the Breakfast Club.
Yes. There's a lot of black politicians who do some very good things. Mm-hmm. My concern with black elected officials, though, is that most of them are married to the Democratic Party, as is the black community as a whole. And that's a problem, because the Democratic Party is a white racist institution, and it is just as racist as the Republican Party. So if you are married to the Democratic Party, that means you are a part of their agenda. You must be a team player. So if the best interests of the black community conflicts with the Democratic Party's agenda, you are obligated as a member of the team to carry out their agenda. And so I'm at a point in my life where I don't vote for black politicians unless they are independent candidates. Because only if you're an independent candidate will you be an independent thinker. And if you're not an independent thinker, I can't give you my vote.
You haven't voted in a long time.
Absolutely.
Do you think that we need like our own Tea Party sort of situation?
I don't think black people need a party, but we need a political union. In other words, we don't necessarily need to have a candidate for president, a candidate for vice president. We are not a numerical majority in this country. And as a result, even if we had a party, there's certain elections we would not win. Now, having your own party where we are the physical majority in a city could be beneficial. But nationally speaking, what we need is a union. Lock your votes together, meet with the Republican Party's candidate, the Democratic Party's candidate, see which of them are willing to give you the most for your vote, and you cast it in that direction. The problem today is black people are married to the Democrats even before you hear the agenda. So they don't have to take you seriously because they know you will be there. It's like being in a relationship with a woman who you take advantage of. It doesn't matter how many times you step out on her. When you get home, you know she's going to be there. So black America is the Democratic Party's cheap prostitute.
So that's Brother Umar Johnson. He says black America is the Democrats' party cheap prostitute. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? I'd like to hear your thoughts or read your thoughts. You tell me. You tell me. 513-873-7134. He said he won't vote for a black candidate unless they're an independent. And, here's the thing about this is that as adults, we can do what we pretty much want to. And most of us do, right? So at the end of the day, Dr. Umar can do whatever hell he wants to do. I'm not sure if that's a smart strategy. I challenge as to whether, as a black man, only voting for black candidates that are independents is smart or not. I think that's dumb as a ham sandwich. I think that's real dumb. But people that don't really think and don't really break it down or take it like, oh, he's speaking the gospel. Ooh, you speaking? He just said some dumb ham sandwich. He just said some dumb for shizzle. Okay? That's what he just said to me. I mean, I'm just talking about that little part he said about not voting for that. That doesn't even make any damn sense to me because every race is different. You may not have an independent black candidate. Is he right, though? Is he right when he says that if you get like a party endorsement that you are beholden to the party? Well, let's be real. Yeah. On some levels, you would assume there has to be some quid pro quo, right? Or else why would they give you the endorsement? I mean, it just kind of sounds that way. But I think the level of what that is determined by the constitution of the candidate. I don't think it has to be that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily see it that way. For me, anyway. I'm speaking for myself. Because for me, I see it as a trade-off. Like, I would see myself as a spectacular candidate for the Democrat Party here locally. So if you're the Democrat Party, you need spectacular candidates. So that's the trade-off. That doesn't mean that everything you say, I do. That shit ain't happening. Not in this world. Because what's the use of being in a position of influence if it's corrupted? That's how I look at it. I think both sides get it. You know, you need the Republican Party, if in terms of black people, the Republican Party need great black Republican candidates. That's the trade-off. Vice versa. That's it. That's it. Nothing more. But what do you think about what Brother Umar Johnson has to say? I've got more. He broke it down. He talked about all kinds of stuff. It was quite interesting. And worthy of a review because perhaps this is something we can glean from it or at least add to the conversation this morning. If you are into such things, 513-873-7134. What do you think? You agree? Disagree? Is the brother on point? Is he off point? Is he absolutely 100% on target? Is he not? You tell me. You tell me. I like to hear it. I like to hear it. You let me know. You know, it's funny. I was looking back over the year because, you know, now that we're at the end of the year and I was looking back at some of the titles of the shows that we've had throughout the calendar year. And for people who have gone back, not every show is up. I mean, I've deleted some of the shows just for storage space. They're not permanently deleted, but I just took them off of my website. And just kind of looking back over at some of the conversations that we had, at least, you know, the stuff that we went through with the school board and some of the local elections. That was interesting. Remember Tank and his sus conversations. Tatiana Jefferson. Remember Tatiana Jefferson? It's kind of looking back at some of these stories that we talked about this year. Remember Tatiana Jefferson, black woman down in Texas? Her black neighbor across the street thought something was going on wrong. He calls a 9 emergency number. The officer shows up and shoots her through the window. Elijah Cummings passes away. Just so many things happened this past year. The rise of ADOS. I think that's probably like a big story from 2019, the rise of ADOS. I think so. I think that's really interesting. Let me see here. Who killed Joshua Brown? Remember Joshua Brown? Joshua Brown was a witness in the Amber Geiger case. And then like a week later, he was killed. Immediately, people thought the police was involved because it just looked suspicious to a lot of people. And then we found out it was a bad drug deal. And now these brothers have been actually indicted. Amber Guyber case in and of itself, I think, was big in 2019. You know what I'm saying? This trial, this off-duty police officer while in uniform goes into the wrong house, kills this unarmed black man who was smoking weed and eating ice cream. And then she tried to cry her way out of it. You had the judge who embraced her. Remember that? And the judge came out later on and said, if she was a non-black woman, nobody would be saying all of this. Remember this? What happened is locally we had the kickoff of Gabe Davis, young brother who is running for Hamilton County prosecutor against the incumbent white male Republican Joe, so-called TNT Dieters. The only time he has TNT is when he's going against black defendants. That's about it. It's got a lot of TNT then. Then locally known judge Fanon Rucker announced after Gabe Davis. There was all the speculation about it. That's ongoing, actually. There's a primary coming up next year in March. What else? You had the kickoff this year of the Ohio Kings, which I think looking back, we'll look at this as historic in 2019. Three brothers coming together to start a minor league ABA. That's the same. Remember Dr. J with the colorful basketball? That's the ABA right there. It's still alive and well. And now we've got a team in Cincinnati, the Ohio Kings. Let me see here. What else? I'm looking back through this. I'm looking back through some of the titles of the show. Remember the movie Harriet? His sister from not the United States. And all of the images. I still haven't seen the movie. I know it's on Fire Stick now, but I haven't put the time together to actually sit down and watch it. What else? I'm just looking back to some of the show titles. 8/28/19, Dave Chappelle proves again why he's the best in the game. And stand your ground defense doesn't help white man in Florida. Remember that? Right. He shot this brother in a convenience store parking lot after the brother pushed him down to the ground in front of his pregnant girlfriend and son. Man died on a dirty convenience store floor. Terrible. I'll tell you, in terms of pop cultural this year, you had the chicken sandwich wars. Yeah. You know, it's quantifiable now. Madison Avenue and the people that comprise these analytics, I read within the last 12 hours that the social media, like everybody was sharing pictures of their chicken sandwiches to pop, you know what I'm saying? Popeye, remember this? The Chick-fil-A versus Popeye, and the Popeye's chicken sandwiches was so big. Man, I read within the last 24 hours that it's been estimated that all that social media, that's free advertising. It's been estimated that it was worth $64.5 million in total for people that tabulate these kind of things. 65. So when people was criticizing black people because black people was going so hard for Popeye's chicken, and people with so-called consciousness was like, yo, you should be voting, or what about black-owned businesses? The sum total of all of that, and it wasn't just black folks, but the sum total of all of that Popeye's chicken reposting, social media, $64 million. Yeah. I read that in the year 2019, in quarter 3, they had a 9.9% profit share, which is 9% higher than it was in Q3 2018. Some chicken sandwiches made Popeye's chicken a lot of money. They made crazy loot off chicken sandwiches. That's it. And that's it. Let me see. Byron Allen. That's a big story, 2019. His ongoing efforts, I guess, from the outside looking in to get parity for black-owned media conglomerates. He's alleging that Comcast and Charter Communications basically was racist, discriminated against him in his efforts to, distribute his product, essentially. That's an ongoing issue. I'm just looking back through some of the titles of the shows that we've talked about. Let me see. What really happened to Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire pervert who was trafficking in young girls. He was taking these girls from the opposite side of the track, so to speak, from broken homes and homes with just bad situations, and he was prostituting them. That's what he was doing. And it looks as if the allegation is that Jeffrey Epstein, who knew the Clintons, all these kind of people. I think it was written that if you go into Jeffrey Epstein's office, he had a photograph, like a nude painting of Bill Clinton, former president. Some old pervert stuff. Let's keep it what it is. Let's keep it 100. And he's found dead in his jail cell. And the conspiracy theories went nuts, and rightfully so. Let me see here. 8/7/19, Ohio governor offers 17-point plan to address gun violence. This was after the mass shooting that happened here in the state of Ohio. We've already passed it. That's how desensitized we are in the new America. Nobody's even thinking about it. Nobody's even thinking about what happened. The mass shooting in Ohio. We've already moved on. It's quite unfortunate. What else here? Tracy Hunter dragged to jail this year. That might be the biggest local story of the year, quite honestly. Just keep it real. Can somebody tell me what's a bigger local story than Tracy Hunter? I just happened to be on YouTube the other day, and it came up in my feed. It was from that local, I think it was like WLWT. And the static image that they have up is of Tracy Hunter being dragged away, like literally this grown black woman being dragged to jail by another black woman. That's got to be the biggest local story here in the city of Cincinnati. But as we reflect near the bottom of the calendar, I want to get your thoughts. What's the biggest local story? I'm talking about greater Cincinnati story. And then what are some of the stories that you remember that we discussed and or was discussed over the last calendar year? I want to add that to the conversation as well. Thank you for being here. We'll take our first break and come back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. Powered by Sin Digital Media.
I'm Donna Wilson. Oprah Winfrey is sticking with Weight Watchers for a few more years. The company and Winfrey are extending their partnership into 2025. In 2015, Winfrey gave Weight Watchers a much-needed boost when she joined the board, became a major shareholder, and a client. And it's official. There's another black CEO at Kaiser Permanente. Gregory Adams has officially been named chairman and CEO. He was tapped to fill the role on an interim basis in November after Bernard Tyson's sudden death. The San Francisco Biz Journal reports Adams is now the leader of the nonprofit hospital and health insurance organization, which serves more than 12 million members and pulls in annual revenue of more than $82 billion. And Amazon is reportedly paying $25 million for Rihanna's documentary. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicide, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
What's up, world? Welcome back. Good morning. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Yeah. Want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department has open registration. Have you ever thought about a career in law enforcement? This could be your chance. The Cincinnati Police Department exam registration is open right now. There is a link on my Facebook page and also one, I'm going to post it right here now, inside of the Chop Shop. And please like and share it. And I'm very proud to be a part of this promotion because I think that it's really necessary for us to have representation on the police department here in the city of Cincinnati that is from Cincinnati. Did you know you don't actually have to live in Cincinnati or be a Hamilton County resident, but you do have to live in one of the adjacent counties. And listen, if people apply from an adjacent county, cool, that's great. But I live in Hamilton County. Many of you live in Hamilton County. I live in Cincinnati. And I think that when you have law enforcement that is policing the very neighborhoods that they live in and or come from, then you're going to get someone who's more conscious about the customer, and that's the citizen. So take an opportunity now. Please share this wherever and with whomever who you think might be interested. And there's a real opportunity here. Everyone knows about the systematic changes, but I also think that people matter as well. And it matters who becomes who's a part of the next Cincinnati police class. It matters. You know, as an African American, I'll be honest with you. I think we need more African Americans. We need more minorities to become Cincinnati police officers. I'll just be straight with you. Okay? That's just how I feel about it. And I'm wondering how you feel about it. This could be an opportunity. And please like this and please share this primarily. Please share this with whomever you think is interested. Maybe you've got a family member. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. We need good men and women, good moral fiber, people that with level-headed individuals to police our streets. And tell me if I'm wrong about that. If you agree, please share. I appreciate it. And someone who has a future interaction with a Cincinnati police officer will appreciate that as well. So please share that. It's vital, in my opinion, because I'm a pragmatist about things. Next year, there's going to be a new police class, one way or the other. And I'm highly invested and concerned in who are the various men and women who will be a part of that crowd, that class, should I say. And I think we need more diversity and representation from the city. And tell me what you think. Please share. All right, I want to check out the Ohio Kings schedule real quick. Hold on, because I don't know if their next game is going to be a home game or not. I don't know. Let me see here. Oh, people have a great time. They really, really love it, and they should. Let me see here. I want to get the schedule for you. Oh, matter of fact, I got the schedule for you right here. I'm tripping. Pardon me. Just bear with me just a second here. I want to get this schedule together. I want to look ahead at the Ohio Kings schedule. Give me 1 second here. And I want to pull this up and get a sense of all of the games, the home games and everything. I know you're already a fan. Let me see here. Okay, here it is. Okay, what is today? The 17th? Okay, their next home game is going to be on December the 21st. The next home game is going to be December the 21st, which is this Saturday against the West Michigan Lake Hawks. After that, the next home game will be against the Team Network from Detroit team. That'll be on January the 4th. And then you got January 18th against the Indiana Lions. You got January 25th against the Cleveland Blazers. On February 1st, you got the Steel City Yellow Jackets. On the 2nd, you got the Gary Sun Rays, as in Gary, Indiana. That game actually is going to be held at Middletown High School, where, as I understand it, some of the ownership is from. They're from the Middletown area. February 22nd, you're going to have the new Chicago Fury. And then February 23rd, you got the Maryland Bulldogs. Now, I don't know how the schedules work. I mean, I'm not sure how the playoffs work, but these are the home games for the first season of the Ohio Kings. Just go ahead and perhaps commit some of those dates to memory. And I will share this. Hold on. I'll share this in the Chop Shop. No. I'll share this in Facebook on the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show page, on my page as well. And you can check it out for yourself. Download it. Now you've got all the home games if you're interested. I say step out and check it out. Have a good time. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Let me go to the Choppers. Tracy is first inside the Chop Shop. Let me check out this avatar. What is this? Who is that on the avatar? I can't really see. It's so small on my laptop. Who is that? Who is that, Tracy? Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Ray writes, Grand Risings. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. Mike Davis is in the house. Rise and shine, young stars. Sharp writes, good morning. Black Russia writes, good morning, hashtag all middle. Pat Rogers writes, good morning. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. How's the weather? Headed to Cincy today. Really? Well, come on in here. As I look outside my studio window, my home studio window, what do I see? I see flurries. I see snow on the ground. Now, it's not bad because it's not really sticking, but you're going to have a lot of snow on the grass and some of the foliage and things like that. So, but great. Pamela, how long are you going to be in town? That's great. Miss Tiffany writes, morning. Brenda writes, happy Tuesday. Miss D, did you receive that prize? Just let me know you got that. Muzone writes, good morning, Black America. I know that's right. Tiffany writes, the volume is low. My apologies. Let me pump that up a little bit for you. There it is. Yeah, there it is. We can do that. How about that? Better? Renee writes, good morning. CG Dub writes, how to marry a good woman. So you got the answer, huh? I've got some answers. Yeah, this is from the fellas out there who are not married and you're looking to get married. How to marry a good woman. What to look for. Tracy writes, what are women allowed to do? Every morning you mention men and lames. Oh, boy. Good morning to you, Tracy. Muzone writes, rain, snow, and racism. At Pamela. Oh, man. That's pretty much everywhere in the United States about this time of year, right? Unless you're in a warmer climate. And then you got sunshine and racism. It's just kind of different. And racism is prevalent, right? Kelly writes, good morning. Black Russia writes, Trump got some ride or dies rolling behind him. Alt middle. Yes, he do. Dude said, my 357 Magnum tells me so. That's what he said.
He's not going to be removed. He's not going to be removed.
You feel confident in that?
My 357 Magnum is comfortable with that. End of story.
And they remove him in the Senate? Mm-hmm. I think it.
My 357 Magnum. Confident in that. Period. These cats are serious about some Trump, man.
There would be a strong movement. It would be very negative. Possible violence. Not that I'm condoning violence. There'll be a lot of mad Americans. Possibly 70 million Americans on the loose. Not very happy.
It's just something about the way he said on the loose that I just don't like. On the loose, that's not good. Kelly writes, good morning. Tracy writes, we already have a family plan if folks go crazy. I believe it. Yeah, in these days and times, you got to have a family plan unless something goes crazy, man. The tethered might, rise from the belly of the sewers. The Trumpsters might get upset if he gets impeached. I believe that if Trump gets impeached, I believe that there will be shootings. People will get killed in the United States. I believe that. Because I believe that Trump appeals to people to some degree that have a mental illness. And we've already seen individuals, like I said, there was a conspiracy theory put out there that Hillary Clinton was using a pizza parlor in D.C. as a front to traffic in children. This was part of fake news cycle back to 2016. It was all made up. But a white male showed up at that pizza parlor with a gun ready to save the children. I take that as evidence that Trumpsters, people that believe in that Fox News shit are some of them, not all of them, but some of them, maybe it's a very small minority of them, have mental issues. They have mental issues. And they really believe everything that Trump is saying. They believe that there's a corrupt element that's out to get him because he's trying to end corruption. And they will be moved to violence if they feel righteous. Righteous indignation has killed a lot of people over time. People feel all righteous, they'll do anything. Some of them anyway. So I believe everything he's saying. I believe somebody will get shot in the streets. I think that somebody will try to take out some of these Democrat senators and representatives. I believe that. I believe it wholeheartedly. So I don't think there'll be a civil war per se, but I think there will be some bloodshed. And I have to be real with you. I'm not here to lie to you. It's too damn early for that. I'm too sick for that. I'm trying to keep it real with you. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Muzone writes, Trump's got some fools that is willing to get their ass whooped. They willing to get their ass whooped or kill people. That's what they're willing to do. And they mean it. Mason Marlin writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag first night in new home. Hashtag making grown man moves. Hashtag come on 2020. Oh, that's beautiful, man. Great. It's great to hear. Great to hear. LL Wright, is this a men's show? It's not a men's show, but I give advice to men as a man. I give advice to men. You got to see, that's what happens. Brothers try to show some brotherhood. The women want to come in here and try to stop it. I'm showing brotherhood. Jared writes, hashtag good morning. Good morning, hashtag team and I. Pam Parnell Stacks Edwards writes, good morning, Choppers. Police confiscated my truck that we used for the Lufthansa heist. Hope Tommy doesn't find out. Hashtag alt middle. He's going deep in the crates on this one. But I follow you, Fame. Mason Marler writes, they wanted Obama impeached over a tan suit and a lack of a flag lapel pin. I'm just saying, right. Muzone writes, one thing I can say about the white Trump supporters, they are diehard supporters and willing to die over that idiot versus black folks didn't give Barack 30 days into his presidency when they started turning on him because they didn't get their Obama check in the mail. Tracy writes, can we talk about what side of Oprah you're on? What side of Oprah? What's the issue here? Did I miss something? What's the issue, Tracy? I know that 50 Cent has said something about Oprah, and there's been some talk about Oprah here and there, but what's the controversy? Let me know. I haven't really been following it. Angela writes salutations. Karamia writes morning, beautiful people. Tony writes good morning. Black Russia writes Umar is on point. You think Brother Umar is on point, Dr. Umar Johnson? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't find, this is just me, but I don't find the take or the flow, as I put it. I don't find the whole black people need to get off the Democrat plantation. I don't find that to be particularly intelligent or witty in 2019. That's just me. When I hear people saying it like they saying something so profound, like no other person has ever thought that, oh, wow, they're breaking the atom. That ain't particularly witty to me. Tell me something that I don't know. Give me a plan or something. But that just seems to be like low-hanging fruit. Like the easiest thing to say is black people need to get off the Democrat plantation. Okay, Albert Einstein or Mansa Musa, however you want to put it. Okay, I get it. Smart guy. But it's not too smart to me. You know, I heard that too many times from too many different people. That's low-hanging fruit. But what do you think? What do you think? I will say that he's gotten over almost 1 million views now in a very short time frame. To me, that tells me that it's like 900 something plus thousand views on their Twitter, on their YouTube page, talking about the Breakfast Club. So I get it. I think he's very popular still for good reason. I think that Dr. Umar Johnson is a super smart guy. I have respect for him and what he does. But I don't, some of that stuff I've heard him say about gay folks, some of the stuff I heard him say about voting sounds idiotic to me. Sounds idiotic to me, but that's just me. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Let's go to the phones. Let's welcome a man from the West Coast who now everybody knows to be our favorite black Republican, and his name is Drop. Good morning, Drop.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. The so-called black Republican of the Chop Shop. I will accept that title, Mr. Ivy, because you gave it to me and not the Chop Shop overseer, Mason Marler. So I appreciate that title, Mr. Ivy. And I slept in early this morning, which means I didn't get up till like 5:30 California time. And Mr. Ivy, I went and I looked at all the chatter in the Chop Shop because I wanted to see if you would be a man of your word and follow up on one of your topics yesterday, which was Dr. Umar Johnson's interview on the Breakfast Club. And again, another reason why I F with you, Mr. Ivy, you are a man of your word. And from the chatter in the Chop Shop, you did discuss Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, Mr. Ivy, I would like to ask you, sir, did you play the clip from the breakfast show that I dropped on your timeline a few days ago? The alt middle who follow me on Twitter, they can attest that I dropped that clip. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday, I think.
I'm not no, I did not, but I did play a clip of him talking about, black people needing to get off the Democrat plantation, essentially.
But that's not, see again, Mr. Ivy, Again, sir, you are not reporting the entire story.
I know. I haven't gotten. I haven't. I'm just starting to get into it. You're right. I just teased just that part of it.
Okay.
I'm just starting to get into it and play more of the audio and break it all down.
Okay, because what you were saying prior to you taking my call, you were talking about you're tired of hearing this whole thing about black people need to get off the Democrat plantation.
Well, it's not that I'm tired of. I just don't think it's all that bright or intelligent or witty or. I mean, it's overdone.
Okay, so Mr. Ivey, can I ask you how long have you been hearing that tired and lame message?
Too long. Decades.
Okay, so
20, 30 years.
Exactly. Okay, Mr. Ivey, I've been hearing it since I became a Republican back in the late 80s during Daddy Bush's first term. Read my lips, no new taxes. So, Mr. Ivey, this has been prevalent within the black community because you know there's a black divide within the black community between the older Negroes and the younger African Americans.
Older Negroes and younger African Americans, okay.
Right, because the older Negroes have been called Negro, colored, black, and African American. So since the older Negroes always want to, kind of go back to the good old days, which there was a time when the black family was intact, it was prosperous, and it was moving forward. But then along came the desperate Democrats. But see, Mr. Ivey, what Mr. Umar Johnson was talking about, and I think I know you know that this is what he was saying. He was saying, stop being married to the Democrat Party, black voters, when you have been constantly cheated and lied to. Okay? He's basically saying there's nothing wrong with getting a separation. You don't have to divorce the Democrats completely because it goes deep.
Yeah, but who is he talking to, though? That's my premise. Who's his audience? We already know that. He's talking to the choir.
Okay, Mr. Ivey, what were we talking about yesterday about the old Negro that retired from radio, Tom Joyner? Dr. Umar Johnson was not talking to the audience that listens to Tom Joyner. Dr. Umar Johnson was on the Breakfast Club.
And that's my point.
He was talking. Okay.
Exactly.
Ivey,
it sounds like you understand where we're going with this. That's exactly right. As you said earlier, there is a modern day schism between older African American voters and younger voters. Older voters are probably more in line with the Democrat Party. Younger voters are not. So as you said, Dr. Umar Johnson goes on the Breakfast Club where he's talking to younger voters. They already feel that way. So I get it. But what else beyond telling us what we've already heard before is he doing and talking about?
But see, Nate, that is you are a communicator. Okay, this is something that you've done your entire life, and you know the number one rule in communication is to get the listener's attention. Am I correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to get these young people's attention about voting and what their vote really means. Because, Nate, it is a lot of young African Americans who really do not understand our electoral system and how the government is made up of three co-equal branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. Okay? But see, Nate, when you get these politicians from both parties, okay, and one party is out of power, and their base are the so-called little guy, the so-called voiceless. Okay? Again, Nate, this is what a specific party does. They breed dependency. And what Dr. Umar Johnson was trying to say while he was on the Breakfast Club, and the interview was, I think, over 40 minutes. I think it was 35 or 40 minutes or something along that line. So there's a lot of that interview that people should hear and not just the little clip.
Yeah, I get
2 minutes.
I get it. He said something else that didn't make any sense. He said, I won't vote for a black man unless he's an independent. The fuck?
Right.
I'm sorry. It's not. The fuck? What the hell is he talking about? He sounded like an imbecile.
He said independent thinker. Independent thinker. He didn't say in the independent party, because at the beginning of his interview, he said there are a lot of black politicians out there that do great things. Because at the beginning of the interview, Charlamagne the God was clowning Cory Booker about how Umar Johnson treated him at some New Jersey function or something, how Umar basically just ignored Cory Booker. And that's how the whole conversation got started. Now, again, Mr. Ivy, I appreciate your show. I like the fact that you're bringing this stuff out. But when I was reading in the chop shop, I'm telling you, Mr. Ivy, the old Negro in the chop shop, Mason Marler, the overseer, he was the only one that was still trying to convince people that Dr. Umar Johnson was crazy. But Brother Mazzone, who is fair and honest about his flows, he said it's the truth because he's been around a while and he's seen what these politicians do who come from the Democrat Party. And again, not all, but a large majority of black Democrat politicians do not have the interests of their constituents number one. They have their own self-interest as number one.
Oh, and the Republicans are different.
I didn't see, Nate. Again, it's because of what the Democrat Party stands for. Give money from the government to the little guy, the voiceless. That's what they do. Okay, so when that money comes from Washington, like Dr. Umar Johnson was saying, if $100 million comes to the hood, why is the hood only getting $10 million? That $90 million is going in places where it wasn't intended to go. And that's all Dr. Umar Johnson was saying. Black folks, we know that the Democrat Party is part of our history, it's part of our culture, but you do not have to stay in a dysfunctional marriage. Get a separation. Like Tracy, I think Tracy from Cincy said, she registers as an independent because you can vote for anybody in the national election as an independent, but there's some elections locally and statewide where you have to be in a right. You have to be in a specific party. So again, Mr. Ivy, I appreciate you playing or discussing the point of view of Dr. Umar Johnson, which is not old, but it is old. But it is new to a lot of people, but old to a lot of older Negroes. Okay, so again, Mr. Ivy, I appreciate you taking my call and giving me this time to get my flow out. And I'm not even going to talk about the fake impeachment because we all know what's going to happen. And
the Republicans are not partial, just like we thought they were going to be.
That?
The Republicans are not they're not impartial. They're not going to be impartial jurists. Mitch McConnell's already said that basically he's working closely with the White House to coordinate the White House defense. So that's what it is. Just like we thought, these Republicans are going to roll with their master, the leader of their party, Donald Trump. That's what it is. What it is.
But Mr. Ivy, are you serious? Are you falling victim
1,000%
to the political doublespeak and the mainstream media spin of? Come on, Nate. We all knew what was going to happen if we got this far.
Right. I'm just saying we know he's just backed up what we already thought.
And the Democrats are saying, oh, it's going to be unfair in the Senate. Really, Nate?
I did read that the White House was nervous about some of these Senate Democrats because they hadn't fallen down on the sword and all this kind of stuff. Did you read that article?
Nate, Washington Post,
Senate Republicans,
New
not
York
Democrats.
Times. Come on, Nate. Reports coming out of the media. It's like you can't. It's like why even read the headline when you know you got to go dig deep into the article and find out that it's bull. Come on, sources close to. Come on, Nate. It's 3 years of the Donald Trump presidency. And the media is acting like they just met the guy yesterday. Nate, the American people know who their president is. The Democrats know who their candidate is. And we're going to find out in 2020 what's popping. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Please.
Yeah, we'll rack him. I love the inflection in his voice. He's getting into it. Let me back up here and talk about something that we've rarely talked about. I'm just going to put this in real quick. How many people have been following the whole OxyContin Sackler family saga? The wealthy owners of the OxyContin maker, Purdue Pharma. Now, when we start talking about these opioids and some of these addictions to pills, it starts with OxyContin. The family who made the most money out of it, their name is Sackler, Sackler, the Sackler family. And they have been found to be the family through Purdue Pharma that made lots of money off opioids. They're caught up in litigation right now and lawsuits. Pardon me. Lawsuits from victims' families, very wealthy family. They've got lawsuits from at least 23 states against them because of the damage done by OxyContin and the opioids. If people want to go and they want to finger point to one family that benefited the most from the whole opioid thing, these would be drug dealers. We don't call them this, but the Sackler family, they're no different than what are some of these like South American dope dealers? They're no different. The Sackler family received $4.1 billion in cash between 2008 and 2017 after the company was fined for misleading the public about OxyContin's addiction risks. So the government's been on to them for some time, and now the government is fining them and people are suing them. So the Sackler family took all the money out of Purdue Pharma and started putting it in personal family accounts all over the world to the tune of about $10 billion. That's how much the opioid addiction made and generated for the drug family behind it, the Sackler family. You'll never see no images of the Sackler family, do you? I mean, I'm going to Google Sackler family right now and see if there's any images of them. You know how every single year they come out with the Forbes like #1 list. You never see the Sackler family on there because they're drug dealers, basically. They were modern day drug dealers, and they underplayed the addiction risk to the doctors, paid off doctors, so that they could give their product to the masses. Basically, this was the legal drugging of America in modern day times. You want to know why the street's so effed up? The Sackler family. Now, we like to call out every other family. If some dude in Cincinnati gets caught with 12 pounds or something, his name is everywhere, his face is everywhere. These people were the grand conspirators of a nationwide opioid epidemic. And guess what? They got away with it. They got away with it. You remember when Lil Wayne said real G's move in silence like lasagna? He could have said like the Sackler family. I'm Googling right now, see if I can see Sackler family. I don't see they're going to show up. They're not going to be on TV. They're going to spend their billions of dollars. White folks, they're going to spend their billions of dollars. The family is estimated to be worth $13 billion. $13 billion with a B. And they made billions of dollars on that opioid OxyContin. Billions of dollars on it. And then when they got caught, rather than fessed up, you know what you do? You fight it in court. And then while they were doing it, they diverted assets into their personal accounts all over the world. Because we want to live good, baby. We want to live good. Quote, today's report confirms what we revealed in our lawsuit. The Sacklers pocketed billions of dollars from Purdue Pharma while thousands of people died from their addictive drugs. This is the very definition of ill-gotten gains. Is that right? That is deep. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Guy?
Hey, what's up, Guy?
Yeah. Oh, man, a lot to talk about. Hey, listen, I was listening to that video of the lady, her son played a trick on her about being pregnant.
Tracy. Yeah, that was Tracy from Cincinnati.
Oh, that was her?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it. I was just listening. Okay. Never mind. That changes some things I was going to say. Never mind. Because I'm actually a fan of hers. So, but I'll say this. What I was hearing sounded like, she might have been leaning toward, taking a view that you and I have.
Which
is? The one view that you and I share, that men should be able to walk away from a pregnancy before, like an abortion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I was picking up. Like, she was telling him, like, you ain't ready, B. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I that's what I was picking up. But I will say this, two things. One, did you see Colin Kaepernick's new sneaker?
I have not, no.
It's out. Well, it's not out, but they showed a picture of it. It's got him with his little bush, his little afro.
I'm looking at it right
on the
now.
Back of it. And the date he first kneeled is on the bottom of the right shoe, 8/14/16.
Is that right?
Some blue Air Force, low-cut Air Force Ones. Nothing says I'm protesting police brutality like releasing a pair of shoes that were made in a sweatshop in China, right?
I mean, I'm not sure what your point is.
What you mean what my point is? How the hell do you go from allegedly protesting police brutality to running a sneaker out there to us, selling us stuff? I told you, this was all the rules from the giddy up.
Wasn't he selling stuff before all of that? I mean, he was a pitchman. The NFL itself.
He was not.
Yes,
a pitchman.
he was a pitchman.
He was a football player.
He was a spokesman. He had advertisers and promotions. And the NFL itself is entertainment. They're selling the game.
But to be an individual football player, to have like individual commercials and whatnot, you've got to be special. He wasn't special. Bo was special. Dion was special. You understand me? Colin Kaepernick ain't special.
Yeah, but what made him special was that moment when he stood up for something deeper than himself.
Oh, really? Just 2 weeks ago, you wasn't saying that when he botched the tryout.
What was I saying?
You were saying, "Oh yeah, I was thinking of Fame. Fame was right. He don't want to play. He just wants to make noise and be a martyr."
Yeah, but that's now. I mean, now he's been removed from the NFL for 3 years.
I'm telling you, I don't care what you say. This was a whole setup by the NFL.
Man, so the NFL's behind all of this. Why?
Just to get their league some attention. People, they like ratings. There's no such thing as bad publicity. NFL ain't going to lose no viewership that's going to hurt their pockets. They printing money. It's a $10-12 billion industry.
I'm looking at what I believe. I'm looking at the black ones, though. It's got the fro on the back.
Okay, maybe it's black because I've seen it without my glasses.
And it's got the blind K on the tongue of the sneaker. They look okay. I mean, I matched them up with the Kaepernick jersey. They look nice.
I just wouldn't get them. I'm not here to be frauded by this cat. I think he's frauded enough people at this point. And thanks for the tickets.
Oh,
it was early season minor league hoop, so I got what I expected. You know what I'm saying?
So what did you see? Tell me about the quality of the game. The quality of the play.
Like I said, it was early season minor league hoop. I left at halftime. I had to. It was like I said early. They was balling, but they was hooping sloppy. If you know what I'm saying.
I get it. They're still trying to find themselves. I get it.
Right. Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, it was minor league hoop. I don't even think some of those guys even played college because I asked a couple of them like, "Hey, what'd you play?" One dude was like Wilmington High School and. dude from the other team was saying he never played college. He was like 6'8", like they big man or whatever.
Okay. Maybe,
you know,
it could be a shot for their hoop dreams. I mean, just
I ain't mad at them.
I
Go
ain't
for
saying
it. But
NBA, but it might be something in the ABA. Maybe they ball out in the ABA. Who knows?
Now, I'm not gonna lie. You talked about dreams. I'm gonna say this: there were a couple of them that's like, all right, bro, you need to go be a third grade social studies teacher. It's over. It's over.
They're looking for a practice squad. Actually, the Ohio Kings are trying to put together a practice squad.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm just like, there was a couple of them. I ain't gonna mention, you know, no names or body types or nothing like that. There was just a couple of them.
Body
like,
types.
It's over, bro. I mean, you know, he could have been short and thick or tall and slim. You know what I'm saying? There was just a couple of them. I'm not gonna say, you know, that was.
You're not gonna say no names, huh?
Right.
That's
But and also,
innocent.
biggest story of the year locally had to be Tracy Hunter.
Right.
Well, no, the Gang of Five first, then Tracy Hunter.
You put the Gang of Five before Tracy Hunter? I would say Gang of Five was the biggest story before Tracy Hunter. So it's like 1-2 to me.
Okay. Either way you want to put them. You know, and like I said then, I'll say the same thing now. If my friend is going to jail and I'm upset about it, I think they've been unjustly accused and over-prosecuted, I'm not going to the judge's house at 4 in the afternoon during cocktail hours singing. I'm going to go to his house at 4 in the morning with a Molotov cocktail.
Right. Yeah, that'll be effective. Well, I think
why are you trying to shoot fair ones with racism? It hasn't worked in 400 or 500 years. And sometimes try switch up the approach. Let them know you mean business.
Yeah, but it worked though, Fang.
How did it work?
Because after
Tracy, she still did 3 months.
But she's supposed to do more than that.
Everybody, that's called a short timer. They don't usually keep you if you're just doing a bullet. You'll get out early.
I'm just telling you. All I know is the Hamilton County Sheriff came out and gave her some kind of special triple, quadruple time, and she got out early. And I think part of that,
anybody can do that.
Yeah, but everybody don't get that.
Either hustling trays.
Everybody don't get that because everybody don't have people willing to go to the judge's house.
If you don't have a violent charge, you can get that, Nathan. That was nothing special. Trust me, I know. This has been well documented that I did a bullet myself. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, that did nothing. It was you can think that, and if that's what you and them want to think, that's on y'all. It did nothing. Anybody who's not on a violent crime can go work, hustle trades, work as the jailhouse lawyer, you know, things like that, and you'll get credited with some good time and get out of there a little earlier. That was nothing, B. You know what I mean? And as far as if you've been hearing that black folks need to jettison the Democratic Party for decades, then at what point did you not realize it's true?
Well, whoever said I didn't say it was true. That's my whole
point.
When
you're talking about it like it's just poppycock, like I've been hearing that, this low-hanging fruit. Sometimes the answer, like Rakim, is simple but quite clever. You understand?
And sometimes people try to pass themselves off as being super intelligent by telling you shit you already know. That's
I don't think that's what Drop was doing.
I'm not talking about Drop. I'm talking about Dr. Umar Johnson.
I think sometimes you just got to reinforce the simple. You know, the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes you just got to go back to that every now and then. Sometimes the answer is that simple. And that's all it is. I don't know why you going off on Brother Umar.
I ain't going off on Brother Umar. I'm just saying I ain't giving you props for telling me truisms. I know that already.
Right. Sometimes the best advice you can receive is the most banal advice.
That's true.
Do you not agree?
No, I won't say banal, but sometimes it's the most simple thing, the most obvious thing. You're right.
Okay, then. All right, then. So I will holler at you at the next moon. You be safe, B.
I will. You too. We'll rack them. Appreciate the flows. We'll rack them. Where are we? See here. I was talking about the Sacklers. That's right. The Sackler fan. Matter of fact, I want to post this link for you. You can check it out for yourself. Check it out for yourself. We got Tracy from Cincinnati calling in. What's up, Tracy? Good morning.
I gotta comment on what Fame said because Fame knows that I would never take that stance. I think where he probably got a little confused was the part when I said that girl needs to take her and her baby and stay over there, and you need to stay here. What I was trying to say in the whole grand scheme of things was they were not going to raise a child in my home. Because I even followed up by saying, you can go stay at her house or y'all can go get a hotel. Now, his dad had his first child at 21 years old, and he didn't walk away from that child. My dad walked away from me when I was 10 years old to probably like after I graduated college. So there is no way that I would endorse or encourage my own kid to walk away from his child, because what I said early on in the video when he was talking about, possibly the girl being pregnant, I said, you're going to have to drop out of school. And he was like, no, I don't. Why I got to do that? I said, because you have to put yourself first. So there's no way that I was telling him that he needs to walk away from my responsibility. I'm not that kind of mom, and he doesn't have that kind of dad. So, and that's just not true thing. So you might want to look at the video again, and yes, it's me, and thanks for watching. But yeah, I wasn't encouraging him to walk away from the baby. I was just encouraging him to not live in our house raising a child in my husband's man cave. That's not going to happen.
In the man cave? Oh, hell no.
Well, in the video, he said, can we move downstairs? We got an extra room down there, TV. And then I was like, what y'all going to do for food? Grill out back? I said all of that. No, the baby's not going to wake me up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to drive to work. No, the whole thing was you're not going to raise a baby in my house. Chase is grown. He's 18 years old. If he goes out and gets somebody pregnant tomorrow, my thing is you better have a plan. That child is going to be taken care of. Yes, grandma will step in and, do what she can to assist, but I'm not raising no babies, and I'm not having all of that in my house. That's my whole thing. So,
well, thank you for the clarification. Fame was wrong again.
All right.
Thank you for the call.
Have a good one.
Yeah, wrong again, buddy. Wrong again, guy. Wrong again. I don't know, man. It's becoming a thing with Fame. Where's Tavis Smiley and Cornell West? ? I'm beginning to believe they were paid. That's a good question. Well, what happened, and I've noticed this quite a bit, is that when you had the first black man who was president, it felt as if, to me, it appeared to be you saw more black people as pundits talking about it. So it was almost as if the big cable networks were saying, since we got a black president, we want to hear from black people about it. And so Tavis Smiley and Cornell West, when Obama was in the White House that first year, they were on TV the first 2 years. Wrote a couple of books. Oh, we got to hold them accountable. And guess what? They were right. There's nothing wrong with saying I support Obama, but I want to hold him accountable. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go back to the phones before we break. We got John from Princeton, New Jersey, everybody. What's up, John?
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world, and yes, those shoppers. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Your last two callers, a very interesting topic on raising a child and that child in your house wind up, him or her wind up getting pregnant and then having their child. We'll get into that a second. What you just talked about, I do agree with you, and I agree with Tavis Smiley and Cornell West. I've said it and I'll keep saying it, and I've said it before Barack Obama came into office. And all you people were jumping up and down a parade of first black man. Oh, I thought Clinton was the first black man. Oh, but the first black man in the White House, and I'm like, time out. Do you guys even do any research on this guy before you elect him the first black president? No, you were just happy to see a black man get in the White House. And Tavis Smiley and Cornell West, as time went on, yes, they were backing him 100%, but they wanted a seat at the table, and Barack Obama wasn't giving them the seat at the table. So, they turned ship on him. And the rest is history. So, yes, you have to hold him accountable. And all the nay-hays were telling me to shut up, stop talking about Barack Obama. Oh, I hear them screaming now about Barack Obama. A little late. Barack Obama's off to the sunset, him and his lovely wife, making millions of dollars, and he's got his library being built there. I wouldn't even buy his book. Now, Michelle, I would probably buy her book. I like her. Something about her. She's a smart, intelligent, beautiful black woman. And nobody wanted her to run for office, but something about
It's the
her,
hips.
I like her. But, Barack Obama, I did my research before he became president, and I was telling everybody, he's not what you think he is. And somebody put me in touch with this black woman. I won't say her name. She's holds the longest African American newspaper company in Chicago. Somebody gave me her direct number. I won't say her name. And I called her one early morning around 9 or 10 o'clock, and she picked up the phone. I was shocked. Wow. And I just put it to her. What is the story on this, at that time, candidate Barack Obama? And she said to me, if you say what I say, that you repeat it and mention my name. I said, no, I won't mention your name. She said, this is the deal on Barack Obama. I watched him grow up, city council, get his law license and sit on the city council. And he was doing all the right community things, making it look good. But as soon as he stepped his feet in that political arena, he started changing. And the rest is history. And she said, you vote for whoever you want. That's your choice.
And that's why you didn't vote.
Research on him.
John, you acting like you voted back in 2000 or what was that, 2008? You didn't vote in 2008.
2004. What was it, 2004?
It was 2008.
No, I didn't vote for him.
You didn't vote at all.
No,
you didn't vote in 2012, did you?
No.
You didn't vote in 2010, did you?
And a second. Right.
Exactly. So the real story about Barack Obama is not like, the real story about Barack Obama's presidency is that people who voted for him in the general election did not come out in those primaries, those those midterm elections. And when they did that, the Tea Party came in, they swept in Republicans, and they effectively were able to block all of his legislation and a lot of his judicial appointments. That's what the issue is. And it wasn't Barack Obama and his policies and what he wanted to do. It's just a lack of understanding on how government works. And people didn't come out in the midterms. You didn't come out in the midterms.
Partly yes and partly no.
Ain't no partly. That's 100%.
But Barack Obama did not, when he got into office, he did not control the House and the Senate. And the Republicans made it clear, we know that they wasn't going to let him get nothing. Okay, they threw him a bone. That is so-called phony healthcare plan.
Right. And when voters didn't come out in the midterm, they made it even worse. I remember the Tea Party swept in. It was a Tea Party revolution. The Republicans got the majority in the House of Representatives, and they essentially legislatively tried to stop everything he did, period. Same thing in the Senate.
Yes.
That's what the issue is.
Correct.
Now, had people came out and the Democrats were able to maintain a majority or even a close, minority, then perhaps the history books would have been different, and we would have got more of whatever the legislative, plan was from the Obama administration, but we never got that.
Yes and no. Once again, we don't know how great Barack Obama possibly could have been if he had control of the House and the Senate. Maybe a lot of those policies that you talked about that probably would have been pushed through, and maybe not. But even if he couldn't get nothing done, and we saw that, he didn't control the House or the Senate, my problem was he could have spoke out more about the black issues. He didn't do that. He had those lynchmen around him tell, Barack Obama, you can say this, you can't say that. No, you can't stand for this. Move yourself away from the Reverend. He's going to tell you that. No. You don't let nobody control you. You're supposed to be the most powerful man in the world, and you're going to let somebody control you like a puppet? I had a problem with that. He's supposed to speak out, and he had a chance to speak out about our issues. He was very quiet. And that's why that sister in Chicago tipped me off on what to expect.
Oh, boy.
And I saw that.
Okay,
so
I can
everybody that was jumping up and down, Nathan Ivey probably was jumping up and down too. Jumping up and down. Oh, we got our first black president in the way. Oh, wait. Stop it. Come on. What are you guys? Are you kidding me? So I just held my tongue for 8 years a little bit. Every now and then I would throw it out there saying he's not what you think he is. But that's okay, you know. He's off into the sunset. He's getting his millions of dollars because he was a good little soldier. He played the game. He's not saying much about the idiot in the White House today because they got the little old boys club and all the presidents do not talk about other presidents in the past. You hold your tongue. So Trump goes after him, but Barack Obama says nothing. He says, I'm not saying nothing. No, let Trump hang himself. And yes, he's hanging himself. And I personally think that it's a possibility. You're hearing it from John from Princeton first. He may slide right into that White House again. But let's see. We got plenty of time. You know who I'm going to vote for? Elizabeth Warren.
You're not going to vote. You're not going to vote. Right. Why are you lying, John? You're not going to vote. Just say I'm not going to vote, but you're going to talk about politics.
I said I already filled out my ballot online. I got my information. I'm already registered, and I'm going to check just to make sure. I don't trust these characters. Anyway, you see what's going on in Georgia? Do you read that news clip? They're purging votes already. We haven't even got down to the major election.
Well, make sure you're not one of them. In Ohio, they're purging votes for people who haven't voted in like 4 or 5 years. So if you haven't voted and I don't think it's fair, but that's what they're trying to do.
Well, it's the rascally Republicans preparing themselves for next year. And what are the Democrats going to do? Let's see. But, you know, this is the same dirty game the Republicans and Democrats have been playing for a long time. Nothing new with this garbage. All right, let's get off of politics. I didn't mean to drag it out that long. Let's get into the sister that just called and talked about the issue of when... I got
1 minute for you, John. Go ahead.
When you allow your child to come back home, that him or her gets pregnant, what do? You kick them out? Do you support them 100%? You have to support them. But yes, I agree with what that sister stated. You know, you're going to live here, fine. But you made this child, you take care of this child. I'll support you, but you got to show puppy love with them and crack the whip every chance you get. Have a nice day.
Appreciate the call. Appreciate it. That's John talking ish. Like I said, the history books are what it is. If you voted in a general election in 2008, and then you didn't vote in 2010, you set Obama up to not be able to effectively put his legislative package into actual law. This is what it is. If you came back out, in 2012 and you voted, but then in 2014 you sat your ass at home. You did the same thing to a Barack Obama for the last part of his second term. You set him up for failure because I don't care what the way the game is set up. If you don't have those numbers in Congress, it can be very difficult to get anything passed. And that's what happened. And that's the reason why the legacy of Donald Trump is going to continue for the next 25 years. With his judicial appointments, federal lifetime judicial appointments. We're going to be talking about this for the next 25 years. People will write books about Trump's judicial appointments. And the books should have been written about Obama's judicial appointments. But people didn't effectively understand what a midterm election actually meant. And the Republican Party, they helped to create this AstroTurf organization, fake as hell. It got adopted by corporate interests very, very on. And that was the Tea Party. Oh, man, they were bringing out flutes. Cass was dressing up like Santa Con, right? Instead of Santa Con, it was 1776 Con. Motherfuckers walking around here with flint locks and shit. Walking around with the old school George Washington, gear on. Like it's Rockaway or something. And they took that shit straight to Congress. And it worked like a charm. And I was on the air, and I said that what we should do, as in black people, is do what the fuck they just did. And instead of calling it the Tea Party, we call it something else. But that didn't happen. Stop the whining when it comes to Donald Trump. I'm sorry, when it comes to Obama. Stop the whining. Tracy sounded like he blew a kiss. Oh, dear Lord, I hope he didn't. Angela writes, is this chastisement for white Democrats too or just black Democrats? Probably just black Democrats. Cam writes, geesh. Is John trying to sound sexy or annoyed at the end of his calls? I think it's just dramatic effect. I don't think he's trying to be sexy. John really chaps my ass. Like, dude, you do nothing to help, but you criticize. Shut up, John. This is from Cassandra. Jackie writes, I wonder why Travis, I think she means Tavis, and Cornell didn't tell Trump to be accountable. Trump shut Tavis and Cornell up with Twitter. Hang up on that hypocrite. Clown, John voted for Trump. Didn't some Dems and independents swerve to support the Tea Party also? I'm not sure. Zorro speaks, Pam, as he did. Right, Nate, there's nothing wrong with holding Obama accountable, but I'm going to need them two clowns to come forward and do the same thing with Trump's ignorant ass. You're right. I was looking for that, but it was a lot of that. There's a website called Black Agenda Report. And I've been going to their website for years and getting content. And I reached out to the founder and spoke with him. And I spoke with another brother who's like he holds, I can't remember what his title was, but he held he could hold his own. He was a good brother, very intelligent. And we talked a couple times. And what I couldn't understand is they was going so hard at Obama. And I'm cool with it. But my question to them is, I didn't see them going that hard at Bush. You know what I'm saying? About some of the same things. So I think it's sort of like one or two things. It's like black family issues, black pundits, Tavis, Cornell, they were more focused on, the black family more than anything else. So when you had a black candidate, black president, that was something appealing to black voters. That was something they felt like they need to speak on. And with Trump, they don't feel the same way because he's non-black. I mean, that's one way of explaining it. Other than that, I don't know. I can't explain the difference. But even with Black Agenda Report, like if you go to their website right now, I don't see a lot of stuff about Trump. But when Obama was in the White House, they made it seem like Obama was like he was like the Antichrist. And I'm not kidding. I'm on their website right now. I don't see not one word. It ain't nothing, not one word about Trump. Everything is more about, black news or whatever. Not sure if you're hip to Black Agenda Report. I think they do great work. But just an observation. I could be wrong about that. Who knows? Muzon writes, Mike Davis writes, Black Americans are the Democrats' bottom bitch. Really? Was that an official take, Mike, or... I get the point, though. Listen, I understand the commentary. I know where people are coming from with it. Let me see. If most black folks ain't getting handouts from black politicians because they are black politicians, then they don't want to have ish to do with you, and that is the sad truth. Mason Muller writes, Umar Johnson is full of shit and doesn't understand the history of conservatism. Parnell Stacks Edwards writes, Umar Johnson says it, and Nathan wants to discuss it. Alt Middle been saying the same thing since day one, yet we get called coons, and the talk show host is dismissive. Go figure. Tracy writes, Dr. Umar should get treated just like John from Princeton. Umar doesn't even register and write in Zorro. Why are we listening to this dude? F Umar. And with that, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
The Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. Oprah Winfrey is sticking with Weight Watchers for a few more years. The company and Winfrey are extending their partnership into 2025. In 2015, Winfrey gave Weight Watchers a much-needed boost when she joined the board, became a major shareholder, and a client. And it's official. There's another black CEO at Kaiser Permanente. Gregory Adams has officially been named chairman and CEO. He was tapped to fill the role on an interim basis in November after Bernard Tyson's sudden death. The San Francisco Biz Journal reports Adams is now the leader of the nonprofit hospital and health insurance organization, which serves more than 12 million members and pulls in annual revenue of more than $82 billion. And Amazon is reportedly paying $25 million for Rihanna's documentary. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicide, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody, welcome back. A beautiful day. I want to remind you, coming up this Friday, Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. She's going to be talking with Joe Gilbert. Joe Gilbert is a filmmaker, and he's the author of a book and a film titled The Trayvon Martin Hoax. Now, most recently, you know that George Zimmerman has a $100 million lawsuit, and it's against the Trayvon Martin family and also against the publishers of Benjamin Crump's book because it alleges that there was some grand conspiracy and fraud against him. And the evidence that I think the provocation for his lawsuit was Joe Gilbert's film, The Trayvon Martin Hoax. Was it a hoax? We'll find out Friday, 12:30 p.m. All right, coming to the stage is Sister V. She's on the line. Good morning to you, Sister V.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, listen, I want to say greetings to you and the choppers this morning. I listen, but I can't always sign in. So I just heard a couple of things that sort of bothered me a little bit this morning. Of course, John always bothers me because he has all the answers politically but won't get out there and vote to make a difference. That is a problem. So, Elizabeth Warren, I don't believe she's going to be the candidate. So John is not going to vote. A couple of things. Kaepernick. Let me start with that. I heard the brothers call in, and, they all down on Kaepernick. If you have never taken a stand on an issue and then suffer backlash for it, which literally could hurt your pocket, your bottom line, could in some ways put your life in danger. it's hard for me, having done that before, it's hard for me to sit back and listen to the criticism of what he should have did, could have did, should have did different and all of that. The brother took a stand on something. In my circles, we talk about it all the time. Where are the athletes? Where are the black folks that got money? Why aren't they using their name, their fortune, and fame to help make a difference on some of these issues? Then when you have somebody who does it, they may not have done it the way you wanted to do it, but they did it. Then they have to suffer the backlash from the very people that they're trying to uplift. That, for me, is a problem. Because, see, now I not only have to fight a racist system, but now I got to strike back at my own people. That is stress beyond stress. And so I ain't mad at the brother. He made a move a couple months ago, and it did have something to do around a contract, a liability contract that he was not aware of. And so whatever move he decided to make, he's definitely not a dumb brother. But he's making moves at this point where he has also got to look out for himself. Because we damn sure ain't been out there for him. Not in any big way, in my opinion. And so when you have to suffer your paycheck, when you have to suffer and figure out a way around this, it's just hard for me to listen to some of the criticism that's coming. So I still say I stand with Kaepernick to this day. I appreciate the brother for what he at least tried to do. Second thing, we are living right now or moving towards a plutocracy. This bothers me because if you read the history of Hitler, Hitler did not come on as the man he turned out to be. You first have to come on with whatever charm you have. You have to lie to the people. You have to deceive the people. Next thing you know, as Malcolm X said, they building them gas ovens and you in it. And so when I look at all these rich men, both on the Democrat and Republican side, when I look at all these people making untold money, y'all, that we don't have, we really got to look and see what they're doing for us. Both parties have used the black community and black vote. So I hear, when I hear black people talking as though the Republican Party is the way to go, I have a problem with that. And it's something that you said that sparked me to call, Brother Nathan, as you said, what's the plan? I move away from this party. What's the plan? And most people don't have one. Because the plan that these cats are talking about ain't got nothing to do with your survival or mine. I remember a long time ago, Nathan, you did a show and you broke down, and I hope that you go back and look at it again, and you talked about what our government spends on domestic spending, that which helps the WIC program, women and children. And it was a very, very tiny portion. Very, very tiny portion. And so we are in trouble here in America because this man that's in the White House right now has shown that he is about himself, enriching his family first. You see all these people, all these bodies that done fell in front of him. He's leaving a trail of bodies of men that are going to jail. And nobody's making the connection. This is mafia-style government going on. And people better wake up to what is going on because I'm telling you, Trump is even tipping you off by some of the things he's saying. He's even tipping you off that there might not even be an election if I don't want one. I don't know if you've picked any of that up, but he's certainly dropping dimes.
Well, he certainly acts like he can do whatever he wants to do, right?
What'd you say?
He feels like he's above the whole system because he's the president.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so at one of his rallies, he was even saying, hey, I could be president for the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they just are cheering. But things are lining up in place that says, hey, if he wants to do this, he may well get away with holding up the election. And I'm not even saying, so we really got to be careful and pay attention to the man behind the curtain because there's really something to this. I haven't really been saying much about it. I've really just been watching this thing. And so it's really not about Democrat or Republican. All these parties have used us. But I would like to see us get together and do something like what you said the Tea Party did. They just infiltrated the Republican Party. Trump's people just infiltrated the Republican Party. Because a lot of these guys ain't nothing but punks anyway. But they're all about themselves at the end of the day and not us. finally, biggest story, I think, of Cincinnati absolutely was Hunter going to jail. No question. That was the shot around the world watching her get carried out of the courtroom like that. I don't think the Gang of Five made it to, national significance like her story did. So I'm with you on that. And for everybody, y'all have a good day. I got to get back to work. Got a meeting at 10 o'clock.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Nathan.
Yeah, absolutely. Rack all the calls today. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's for you, all you Colin Kaepernick haters. She said, if you ain't never really stood for nothing or lost nothing, you don't really know what that means. And again, I mean, I've heard the stories about these people, the people that in 2001 was out in the streets, so-called leading a boycott, not so-called, but leading a boycott. And a lot of those people had to deal with intimidation on their jobs. It's quite interesting. Very interesting. Since we're talking local, a North College Hill woman was arrested. This is the last week she was arrested. We haven't talked about it. After police said that she hit a child with a rope-style belt 35 times. Black woman. Bagwana Hassan, 40 years old, was held on a $10,000 bond. She now faces a child endangerment charge. And police are saying, or shall I say, courts are saying that she used excessive discipline on her 11-year-old boy. The boy was struck 35 times on the back with a rope-style belt. And 35 times, I mean, did he count? The abuse resulted in severe welts and open wounds on the boy's back, along with a defensive wound on his right hand, according to arrest documents. Authorities were alerted to the incident when the boy re-aggravated his wounds during class at North College Hill Middle School. He went to the school nurse, and then the school resource officer was notified, and the child was sent to Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. And that's because the only people who are allowed to abuse your children in the Cincinnati public school system or in the school systems are the people in the school system. They'll call the police on your ass real quick in the school system. Oh, looks like we got abuse here. But if your kid goes to school and gets abused by a teacher or an administrator, you may never even hear about it. Gets neglected, you may never hear about it. It's the truth. I had to take the opportunity to say that. Now, the mother says it wasn't abuse. It was just punishment. She was trying to get this little motherfucker in line. 35 times with a rope-style belt. That's not good, is it? That's not good. Yes, now this mother is facing a serious charge. But I don't know, man. I mean, they say this is like a holdover of slavery, and that's black people beating their kids and all this kind of stuff and, going too far with it. But then you got a lot of households where you got women who are raising these young boys, and a boy is different. Your little Buddha, I don't think that there's ever been a child that was easier to raise than my daughter. She was by far the most drama-free kid I ever seen in my life. No lie. From the day she came home, when you first bring your baby home, the baby sleeps in the bed, in the crib next to your bed, not in the bed with you, but in the crib next to your bed, right? So we did the same thing. Early on, we moved her crib to her room. Her room was down the hallway, at least, about 7-8 feet from our room. And since the time she was a child, she would sleep in her own crib. She wouldn't cry. She would sleep in her own crib the whole night. I'd wake up in the morning and she'd be sitting there playing with toys, just waiting for me. Just happily content, just chilling. I'm just telling you, I mean, little Buddha was just the easiest kid ever. Easiest kid ever. When she was a kid, I mean, She was just chill. As long as she was in the room with us, she was chill. If we were in the bedroom, she'd get her toys, make a little place. She was cool. If we were downstairs in the living room, as long as she was close to us, we was cool. And I told my wife with my son, it could be the complete opposite. You don't get to choose this. And little boys are different than little girls, especially as they get to be 11, 12, teenager. Oh boy. You got to have them in something. You better put them in sports, soccer, darts, something, badminton. Put them in something. Because if not, he's going to drive you nuts. That's just how they are. That's how little boys are. It's just where they are. I think the world belongs to them. It's there for them. So it can be a handful for anybody, especially a woman who's never been a little boy. She don't really understand. The other way is some people get beaten a lot as a child, so they think that's discipline. They just feel like, oh, I told you to get your ass in here, and you don't move fast enough, so then they want to beat you they want to beat you to death. Or some people are really into that don't talk back to me stuff. Like, what you say? Or did you say under your breath? Come over here. I'll give you something to say something in your breath out. I'll give you something to cry about, all this kind of stuff. Not a good look. I don't know what the boy do to get 35 lashes. That sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like, it don't even sound like, it sounds like you in Indonesia or something, got caught stealing. And want to cane you. But this ain't good. The boy is now with his biological father. Okay. So what does that mean? It sounds like was the biological father in or out of the boy's life? I don't know. Some parents will abuse their child because they had a bad relationship with the other parent. I was watching Iyanla, and I must admit, I have a newfound respect for Iyanla. There was a time when I thought she was completely full of shit. But after watching her shows, I think she really tries to get to the root of it. I recently saw a little episode, a little clip on YouTube when she was talking with a woman who had beaten her son. Her son was grown now, but her son was still having issues with the fact that mom was so mean to him. And the mother admitted that every time she saw him, she saw his father, and she couldn't stand that nigwa, and she used to beat her son because she was mad at the dad. That ish is real. And then he moves on, got a new relationship. They got a nice new house. All this whole little life over here, and you over here with the son. He done got married, legitimized this other woman's kids. You got an illegitimate kid with you. Don't even come see the kid. Some people take that out on their kids. It's sad, man. It really is. What's the moral of the story there? Dr. Umar should get treated just like John from Princeton. Umar doesn't even register. I think I read that already. I think it shows a clear lack of understanding of the American political process. It's not about party. It's about ideology, right? And that's what Dr. Umar don't understand, and what a lot of people don't understand when I hear that criticism. Oh, y'all just on the Democrat plantation. Maybe some, but the black people I know, that's not who I would describe them. It's more about history, platform, and the shit that's going on now. I believe in registering independent is the best method for me. Mike Davis writes, it's about getting our demands met, Mahler, by whomever meets them. Nate, play that again, please. I didn't catch the last part, Dr. Umar Johnson. Oh, you didn't catch that? Okay, I got it for you. Hold on. We got all the Dr. Umar right here. He was most recently on with the Breakfast Club, which is the new epicenter of what happens culturally now in terms of black culture, youth culture, I think, on some levels, at least black digital culture online. And
wake that ass up.
Oh, wake that ass
in the morning.
Up.
The Breakfast Club.
Oh, yeah. That's Dr. Umar Johnson. He's coming up in just a second.
The team to carry out their agenda. And so I'm at a point in my life where I don't vote for black politicians unless they are independent candidates. because only if you're an independent candidate will you be an independent thinker.
Okay, so Drop was wrong. Drop was wrong because he said independent thinker, and I knew that's not what he said. He said independent candidate. And again, I don't think that's necessarily smart. So let's apply his ideology to Cincinnati. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's think it out. So what he's saying is, in Cincinnati, he won't vote for no candidates unless they're an independent candidate. So that means that he wouldn't vote for, like, Tamaya Denard. You know, does that mean judges too? He wouldn't vote for Janaea Trotter. He wouldn't vote for Fanon Rucker. He wouldn't vote for them because they're Democrats. That sounds like some dumb shit. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you can sit on a national platform and talk vaguely and generally, but when you really start talking about these local elections, I think it needs a little more pragmatism brought to it. You know, the pragmatism. You know what I'm saying? Being real, seeing things for what they really are. What he's saying is a ultimately defeating strategy, in my opinion. I don't vote for no candidates unless they independent candidates. Well, black candidates, by the way. So that means that you're not going to vote for any white candidates, and the only black candidates you're going to vote for got to be independent. You ain't going to be voting a whole lot then, B. So it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy for a mofo who don't believe in voting. And to me, that's one of the weakest parts of everything I've ever heard Dr. Umar say. He on point now. We talking about your kid and the things you can do with your school. He's on point with a lot of stuff. But his stance, and I would say the same thing with Tariq Nasheed. I've heard both of these very, very intelligent brothers that got audiences say the stupidest shit I've ever heard when it comes to politics. Oh, I ain't going to vote. You ain't going to vote, but I'm supposed to go out here and buy hidden colors. How the hell is that going to help me? What? It's dumb shit, people. And I got to keep it real with you. It don't make any sense. It's ultimately a losing proposition, in my humble opinion. But let's listen to Dr. Umar.
And if you're not an independent thinker, I can't give you my vote.
So you haven't voted in a long time.
Absolutely.
Long time. Do you think that we need like our own Tea Party sort of situation?
I don't think black people need a party, but we need a political union. In other words, we don't necessarily need to have a candidate for president, a candidate for vice president. We are not a numerical majority in this country. And as a result, even if we had a party, there's certain elections we would not win. Now, having your own party where we are the physical majority in a city could be beneficial. Mm-hmm. But nationally speaking, what we need is a union. Lock your votes together, meet with the Republican Party's candidate, the Democratic Party's candidate, see which of them are willing to give you the most for your vote, and you cast it in that direction. The problem today is black people are married to the Democrats even before you hear the agenda. So they don't have to take you seriously because they know you will be there. It's like being in a relationship with a woman who you take advantage of. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how many times you step out on her. When you get home, you know she's going to be there. So black America is the Democratic Party's cheap prostitute.
Yeah, I feel like this year has black people have really disrupted that in a major way. Like I think they know that they have to work for the black vote this year. Like this is the first time I've seen candidates actually have a black agenda.
There's a reason for that, and I think it's because you still want to squeeze as much of the black vote as you can, but I believe that our relevance in the political landscape is beginning to decline. Because you have the rise of the Latino population and their vote. And unlike the African American community, the Latino American community isn't married permanently one way or the other. So they're going to hear the Republicans out. They're going to hear.
And the other thing about the Latino and Hispanic community is they don't have people saying dumb shit like your vote don't matter, or I'm only going to vote for a Latino if he was an independent. See, that's the other thing that Dr. Umar don't add to that. Yeah, that dumb shit that people be on. Oh, I ain't going to vote until I get an independent candidate, and I ain't going to vote for no black man if he's a Democrat or Republican. Latino Hispanics don't do that stupid shit. Their population ain't run around trying to figure out whether their votes matter or not. They already know it. Too many black folks who claim that they smart and claim that they intelligent is still running around here talking about, I ain't going to vote. That's the problem in the black community. Too much dumb shit. too much dead weight from nigwas that ain't doing nothing. And they can't even vote locally? You can't even vote where you live at? But then you want to turn to the Hispanic community, but you don't want to talk about that part of why they're more successful or why they might be gaining prominence in the political spectrum. That's why. That's why. They got too many people in the black community running around, I ain't going to vote because, man, they're going to figure where I live at. In this white man's world, I ain't voting in this white man's system. Motherfucker, you live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Don't you pay taxes? You paying for the stadium every time you buy something. Talking about what you not going to do. You're doing it. It's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my entire life. That's the difference in the communities. That's the difference. When was the last time you heard somebody Hispanic say, you know what, we ain't voting? Them motherfuckers trying hard to get every right, everything they can to leverage for their communities. Meanwhile, we got too many people in our communities running around trying to figure out what they want to do. Do they believe in voting? Does your vote really matter? And all this kind of stuff. That's the problem. But he don't see that, I'm sure.
Democrats out, and they're going to make a decision that's best for their community, whereas black folks, we don't need to hear anyone out. Mm-hmm. We're voting for the Democratic Party irregardless. Let's look at...
God, is that really true? I mean, to who is that true for? Who is that true for? And why, if that's true, why is it true? I think that Mason Muller said something when he said ideology. I think that says less about black people and more about the dearth of choices. That's just me personally. I think that says less about black intelligence because everybody wants to assault black people's intelligence. I think it says less about black intelligence if, in fact, any elements of that is true, that previous statement that we heard Dr. Umar Johnson say. And it says more about the dearth of choices out there in the political spectrum. But that's just me. Let's listen more.
There's 5 major problems that affect black America. 5.
What are they?
Mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification, access to wealth, and police genocide. They're all equally relevant. Mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification, police genocide, and access to wealth. My question for Senator Booker, as it would have been for Senator Harris, but of course she dropped out now, okay? What plan do you have? Not promise. Black America has to get out of this thing. We want promises. I don't want no damn promises. I want to see a plan of action. What plan do you have?
Okay. Now, I'm all about plans too, but let's be real. What is a plan? What's the difference between a plan and a promise in terms of how he put it? I guess one is written, one is not. Like if somebody's running for election before they get elected and they say, hey, I got a plan for that. Go to my website. You go to their website, it's some shit they typed up and they put on their website. It's no more something that's in place than if they just told you the shit. You're not going to know whether they actually going to put it in place and they really mean it until after they get in office. It's all promises. It's a plan. I promise to do this plan. It's no different. I mean, peep this game.
To deal with miseducation? What plan do you have to deal with mass incarceration? What plan do you have to deal with the ethnic cleansing of black people out of our own residential neighborhoods? What plan do you have to deal with police assassinations of defenseless, unarmed black folks? And what plan do you have to help us access the wealth of America's...
Now, Elizabeth Warren has a plan. Elizabeth Warren, most recent, it's on her website. I went through it a couple weeks ago after the day it was announced. It was a plan that she said that she wanted to harness the power of the federal government and the DOJ to get rid of white nationalists. Yeah, it was all tied up with her budget on her website. She got all kind of plans on her website. Does that mean that we should now support her because now we see the plan? I don't know.
Thanks. If he ain't got a plan for any one of those 5, I can't vote for you. And guess what? 99% of black politicians don't have a plan for any of those 5 because those 5 things, Charlemagne and Envy, are the backbone of white supremacy. It's the backbone of political and economic disenfranchisement.
It's the backbone. He says that most black politicians across the nation don't have a plan for that. I don't know. I've never talked to 99% of black politicians. That would be a heavy thing to do. That'd probably take me all year. So I don't know, but he's speaking generally. I don't know if that's true or not. I would fact check that.
Black folks, if you deal with any one of those 5, you are weakening the fiber of white supremacy's or white racism's control of domination over black existence.
I was going to ask you who's one of your top choices out of the presidential candidates.
Nobody. Bernie Sanders doesn't have a solution for black people.
He's not voting. He's not voting.
Unless someone arises
yeah,
talking something that I think is relevant for us.
What did you think of Kamala Harris?
I don't vote for black people who are not married to black people. I think we know that.
Right.
Okay. So she wasn't going to get my vote anyway.
What if she had all the plans for black people that we talk about, but was still married to a white person?
She could not have, because you can't mix oil and water. So if a black woman is committing her life to a white male, understanding what the white male population has done to black people in this country, that right there tells me how serious you are about us.
Now it's getting got personal. Now you're talking about who you got married to and all this kind of stuff. Do you agree with Dr. Umar Johnson in that previous statement? He said one reason why he couldn't vote for Kamala Harris because she was married to a white guy. And to be honest with you, I think there was a lot of black people who agree with that. Right, wrong, or whatever. It's the world we live in. Do you agree with that? Do you think he's right about that? Do you identify?
For example, the other day, y'all had a terrific interview with our brother Byron Allen.
Yes, sir.
But I'm upset with both of you because you did not ask the question that needed to be asked.
Which was?
Byron Allen spoke eloquently about the black economic situation and our need to keep our wealth in our community and our need to concentrate that wealth for our own benefit. So if you know that much about black economic power, how could you make the mistake of not investing your wealth into a black woman? 1 + 1 =.
Let's stop right there. Now, I've got to say that Dr. Umar Johnson, in my opinion, is 100% on point on that. He is 100%. Say what you want, like it if you don't, make you feel some kind of way. It is what it is, homie. But whatever I have to give in this lifetime, I want to share it with a black woman. If I get $1 million, we sharing that. I'm invested in the black family since I was younger. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's really rarely anything more woke than the choice you can make than that on some levels. But here Byron Allen is, big-time black billionaire, talking about we need parity, black folks, we got to spread the wealth in this black economics. And you ain't even doing that personally, homie. Food for thought. I throw it out there. Tell me what you think.
Those two, you can't come up here talking about black economic power and our need to protect the 1866 civil rights law when you yourself didn't think enough of us to contribute your money and your capital and your wealth and your estate by marrying a black woman.
You should have just added in your penis.
You cannot live white.
Yeah. So what do you think that was? What do you think that is? That the fact that he's quote unquote trying to help our community, but you see him married to a white woman?
Here would be my question for Byron Allen.
Go ahead.
This whole message of black people needing to protect the 1866 Civil Rights Bill, is that for us?
Or him?
Or is it for you? In other words, is this another Barack Obama tactic where you get black people all in their emotions and they follow you out and do whatever you want? And then
he wrong for that. He wrong for that. He wrong for that. You know, I think he's making that. I think that's a very fair question of Byron Allen. I do. I think it's fair. But he wrong to try to bring Obama in. Because I want to make this point again. Obama didn't fail us. We failed Obama. This mofo didn't even vote in 2008, didn't vote in 2010, didn't vote in 2012, didn't vote in 2014. But then you want to talk about what you didn't see legislatively? That's one of the biggest frauds that people in the black community still are under. That somehow Obama didn't give you what you needed. He said the change is us, not him. I never looked at Obama as a messiah. He was just a dude who was in that moment. That's it. People thought Obama was going to do more than he really could. If you didn't vote in 2010, you need to shut the fuck up about Obama. If you didn't vote in 2014 or didn't vote at all, you really ain't got nothing to say about the man because you didn't help. You only hurt the situation legislatively. That's what happened. So he's wrong to bring Obama into it. He should keep on the subject and keep making these points about Byron Allen, which I think are
at the end of the day, you benefit and we don't. Because that's what Obama did. We got nothing out of that at all. Latinos benefited. Homosexuals benefited. Women benefited. Immigrants benefited. Black folks who built this country did not benefit from Obama at all. Not a single law just for us. You understand? So if I were talking to Byron Allen, this is what I would say.
Again, I challenge the feasibility of that on some levels, and also I would fact check that. And again, we never know what we never know. But again, check the history books. Obama had a majority for 2 years. After that, no majority, and he was dealing with an obstinate, do-nothing Congress that goes down in all-time history of Congress legislative sessions that did absolutely nothing. Didn't do a damn thing. I had a running joke during the Obama years that one of the best jobs in the world was to be a Republican congressperson because you don't have to do anything. All you got to do is say no, 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 don't show up for meetings, vote no on everything. It was a cake job. Super cake. Somebody needs to tell Umar Johnson the facts.
I respect him, first of all. You understand? He's still my brother, even though there's political disagreements.
Correct.
But I would say, listen, your wife is white. So we're going to stop the black talk right there. Here's what I want to know. How many people on your board of directors for your corporation are African people, black folks? I also want to know, how many of your employees are black? I also want to know, to how many black companies do you subcontract for services and other things that you need to run your corporation? In other words, I want to see how much of this contract that you may very well get with Comcast and Charter, you understand, is going to reciprocate back to the black community. Because if I see you got an all-white board or mostly white employees, then I know this is not really about black folks. Also, with a contract worth that much money, there's going to be a lot of not-for-profit kickbacks, a lot of tax write-offs. How many black community organizations are you going to be writing off, you understand, by giving them contributions from that available pool of funds that you have? How are we going to benefit? Because your white wife, she's going to get everything you bring home. That contract, she's going to benefit from it more than any black woman in America. So you got to give me something so I know you serious. Now, even if he didn't know, Envy, even if he couldn't answer my questions in a way that I thought was acceptable, Charlamagne, I'm still going to ride with him. You want to know why? Because that civil rights bill is critical for us. And one thing I don't do is throw out the baby with the bathwater, you see. So even if he can't answer my questions well, I got to ride with him because them dismantling that bill can affect a lot of other black people coming down the pike.
Yeah, that's Dr. Umar Johnson. Yeah, I thought it was a really good interview and worthy of conversation. It's a lot that you could take from it. I mean, just that right there. And it gets complex. On one hand, he says, look, I got a problem with Byron talking about wealth building and wealth sharing inside a black family, and you're not even with a black woman. I think that's fair. But then secondly, he says at the end of the day, I got to roll with it because I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, which I think is fair as well. But what do you think? Let's see here. Muzone writes, Umar definitely on point. That was at 8:27 a.m., nearly 2 hours ago. Let me catch up here and see what some of your latest comments were, because I'm about, as you can tell, way behind. But what do you think about Dr. Umar? Do you agree with him? See here. I see Angela's out. Let me see. Tanika writes, I agree, love who you want, but a black man is for me, period. TNT writes, oh yeah, I say all the time, black men who reach the pinnacle of success always find a white woman to transfer their generational wealth back to the white community. Brilliant. Why do we need government to tell black folks to spend money in their own community? CG Dub writes, niggas that talk like him be the first ones to bend Becky over behind closed doors. Hashtag stop it. What? Are other white folks going to permit Warren's plan to advance? Elizabeth Warren has this plan. Her and Bernie have these plans where they want to basically have a wealth tax. And that's a big divider because people say that's socialism. But since the wealthy just got a special tax break, I don't think so. See, TNT writes, because the Hispanics have an agenda. When their candidates run, they represent their community unapologetically. They remain united and gain allies and sympathizers from white America. Mike Jones writes, we need a candidate that'll give psychological evaluations to all ADOS, American descendants of slaves. Geesh. Miss Tiffany writes, are we sure Hispanics aren't saying the same thing? Mason Marler writes, preach, Nate, nigwas who don't do nothing but would love to complain. Angela writes, sounds like there's a lot of overlap in thought, but different methods of achieving. Radical ADOS, FBA, etc. Traditional Democratic till they die, strategic black voting. TNT writes, fools following a fool. Cam writes, Umar is a black con man. It's been proven that he swindled many blacks out of their money. Brother Polite as well. Really? Yeah, I think he addresses that as well because he's got this academy. He raised, $2 million. And then something happened with the land that he originally wanted. He wasn't able to get it. So then he found another spot that was on the East Coast. Rhode Island or something like that. I think that's what it is. Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And he's got a new spot for the FDMCA Academy. That's the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, FDMCA. And there's been videos that he posted when he was walking through the grounds and the lights are off and stuff like that. And people are making a big deal about it. I don't, because ultimately, if you want to support the guy, you support him. I'm sure ultimately he'll probably get it off the ground. And hopefully it'll be a good thing for some young men around the country to get straightened out and to sharpen their knives, so to speak, and to get culturally aware. And I hope that Dr. Umar Johnson is successful. I hope that what people are saying about him is not true. I don't know. TNT writes, he was willing to throw the baby with Kamala Harris, but not for Byron Allen. Right. Interesting. I almost missed that. Going back here, let me see. Umar said he doesn't vote. Get in the corner with John. Credibility gone. Johnson sounds like a fool. That's not the point of that biblical story, bro. The BMW stuff sounds like some atheist stuff. Are you an Ayn Rand follower? See, CG Up writes, now the question becomes, where did or who did he learn the disrespect from? Drop writes, listen to the entire interview. I will save that for the choppers to do on their own time. Going back a while, when we was talking about the young man in North College Hill, whose mother's now looks like she's dealing with some serious charges. She's out on $10,000 bond because he goes to school and the school finds out he's got these welts and these wounds, and they end up calling the police, and the mother gets arrested. Could you imagine getting arrested because you give your kid a whooping? Kermir writes, the 45th will never be impeached. I think the impeachment is a distraction. The impeachment is a political ploy, and we'll see if it works. We'll see what it works. Broadway Flo writes, what did Kaepernick lose? Well, like Muhammad Ali, Kaepernick lost the ability to engage in the athletic sport of his choice at the prime of his career. Now, I don't think he was like Ali because Ali was standing up to the entire United States during the time of war. And that's different. And we talking about a black man back in the 60s. That's different than today. Colin Kaepernick received death threats, and so did Muhammad Ali. But back in the 60s, the death of a black man, black leadership many have been killed across the country. Many leaders that black people looked up to, like Martin Luther King, and the Kennedy brothers had been gunned down. It was different times down there back in the 60s. So I don't compare at all Kaepernick. I'm not trying to compare the two in terms of greatness, but Muhammad Ali was a boxer. He was not allowed to box. He had no money. He ended up working at a grocery store and, doing like college talks and tours, talking about whatever. Colin Kaepernick, because of the times, he was able to fall back on Nike. So he lost what could have been the rest of his athletic career, and that's what he lost. Trump says and does in public what he do what they all do in private. I think it's a very cynical way of looking at it. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Broadway writes, F the Republicans. You don't vote for them. Plus, they do the same amount the ones you do vote for. Okay. Some blacks will not leave the plantation. Mike Jones writes, so we've heard the critiques of the Democrats. Is the GOP that great for black people? I notice how well they treat politicians like Winburn locally. Sarcasm. What's the GOP plan for Mayor KKK? All very fair. All very fair. Listen, as we go in the show this morning, I want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department they now have open recruitment. You can apply today and launch an amazing career in law enforcement with tremendous opportunity for growth and development. You can text the Cincinnati PD to 797979 for more information and updates on the process. And if you're interested, you must be at least 21 years of age, have a high school diploma or equivalent GED, and you must be eligible to work in the United States with a valid license. And perhaps you can be on one of the many patrols, whether that be beat patrol or maybe a district investigator, neighborhood liaison officer. Maybe perhaps you're interested in being in a violent crime squad or perhaps a bike officer. What I say is we need people from the Cincinnati area to move into careers in law enforcement and represent us the way that we feel like, we should be represented. And I'm going to leave a link for you before we leave this morning. And I'd just like you to share it if you feel inclined to do so, or you have someone who you think it might be perfect for, or maybe I'm talking directly to you. All right? Don't let this opportunity pass you by. This could be your moment. And I just posted a link that'll tell you everything about the exam. It'll tell you everything about all the benefits. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do to prepare yourself for the tests ahead if you decide that you want a career in law enforcement. And I want to thank you for being here this morning. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow at 8 a.m., bright and early. And don't... Okay, hold on. I'm getting a message here. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. And if I sound a little different, I'm a little under the weather. Hopefully I'll be better tomorrow. Have an excellent Tuesday. We made it as we get ready for the year 2020. And my name is Nathan Ivey, live, local, and vocal, powered by Sin Digital Media. And we'll talk real soon. I'm out.